Goals are powerful, no doubt about it. They give us something to aim for, something to strive toward. But let me tell you, goals without discipline are like a car without gas. You can polish it, admire it, talk about it, but it's not going anywhere. Discipline is what fuels your journey. It's the steady engine that pushes your dreams forward 1 mile at a time. A goal sets the target, but discipline pulls back the arrow and releases it. Now, most people don't fail because they don't have goals. They fail because they don't have the daily discipline to chase them. You can write your goals in bold letters, hang them on the wall, shout them from the rooftops. But if you don't follow through with consistent effort, they become just another wish. That's the hard truth. It's not about what you say you want. It's about what you're willing to do repeatedly to get it. You see, discipline doesn't require brilliance. It doesn't require talent or luck. It simply demands commitment. It's waking up a little earlier, staying up a little later, skipping a distraction, choosing the hard right over the easy wrong. Those moments may seem small, but compounded over time, they create greatness. Discipline is how you outgrow your excuses. And here's what I've found: discipline creates freedom. That sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. When you're disciplined with your time, your money, your energy, you gain control over your life. You start designing your days instead of reacting to them. You stop chasing motivation and start building results. It's like planting seeds. You may not see the tree today, but you're setting yourself up for a forest tomorrow. So let me leave you with this. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Not motivation, not luck. Discipline. You want to cross the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Build that bridge, one disciplined step at a time. It's one thing to make a plan. It's another thing to carry it out. You can spend hours dreaming, outlining, color-coding your goals, mapping out every little step. But without discipline, it all just stays on paper. That's the trap so many fall into. They think planning is progress. But progress doesn't happen in your notebook. It happens in your actions. It happens when you do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Now, I'm not saying don't plan. Planning is important. It gives you clarity. But don't fall in love with the plan. Fall in love with the process. The real work begins after the pen is down. That's where discipline steps in. Discipline says, let's stop talking about it and start doing it. It's the muscle you build every time you act in alignment with your purpose, especially when it's inconvenient. And here's the catch: most people quit not because the goal is too far, but because their discipline is too weak. They expect results from ideas, but ideas alone don't produce results. Only disciplined action does. You want to lose weight. The diet plan alone won't help. You want financial freedom. The budget won't serve you unless you follow it. The blueprint means nothing if the builder doesn't show up. So ask yourself, what good is a beautiful plan sitting in a drawer, untouched? What good is a vision board if your feet never move? The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards performance. And performance is fueled by discipline. That's the key that unlocks the plan. Remember this: the bridge between where you are and where you want to go isn't built on wishes. It's built on work. So don't just plan the life you want. Discipline yourself to live it. It's amazing how something so small can carry so much power. One push-up, one page read, one small act of self-control. You see, discipline doesn't always roar. Most of the time it whispers just one more rep, one more phone call, one more hour of focus. These little choices might not seem like much in the moment, but they are the seeds of momentum. And momentum, once it gets moving, becomes very hard to stop. That's the secret most people miss. They look for big breakthroughs, life-changing moments, sudden success. But real success isn't a leap, it's a climb, a slow, deliberate, consistent climb. And what drives that climb? Discipline, daily, steady, non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth or tying your shoes. It becomes part of who you are, not just what you do. You want to build momentum. Start small, but stay consistent. One small win today makes tomorrow easier. And when tomorrow becomes a little easier, the day after becomes easier still. That's how a habit is born. That's how energy builds. One disciplined decision creates a ripple, and that ripple grows into a wave. And before you know it, you're being carried forward, not by force, but by flow. But here's the key: you can't stop. Momentum doesn't ask for perfection, but it does require consistency. Miss one day, get back on track. Miss two, you start losing the groove. 3, now you're back at 0. That's how fragile it is in the beginning. But keep going, and discipline becomes your ally, your force, your rhythm. So if you're feeling stuck, don't wait for a miracle. Don't wait for inspiration. Just take a small discipline step, build the momentum. Because once you do, the wind will be at your back, and the climb will turn into a glide. It's not enough to have good intentions. The road to failure, as they say, is paved with them. You see, everyone intends to do better. Everyone means to improve. But intention without action is just hope with no muscle. It feels good in the moment. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, next week, next year. But let me tell you, nothing changes until something moves. And the force that moves it, that's discipline. Discipline is what grabs that intention and says, let's go. It takes what's in your mind and plants it in the real world. You want to get in shape? The intention might get you to buy the gym shoes. Discipline gets you to lace them up and show up when it's raining. That's the difference. Discipline makes the decision real. It turns theory into practice and practice into results. And don't confuse activity with accomplishment. Just being busy isn't enough. It's easy to be active and get nowhere. But disciplined action is focused. It's aligned with your values, your goals, your purpose. That's the kind of action that compounds over time. You may not see it today. You may not see it tomorrow. But like interest on a good investment, the returns show up when you stay consistent. I always say action is the proof of belief. If you really believe in something, you'll do something about it. That's where discipline becomes the bridge. It connects your dreams to your results, not by magic, but by motion. Every time you follow through, you're building that bridge brick by brick. So the next time you feel inspired, don't just sit with it, act on it. Let discipline be the spark that turns your intention into movement. Because without that spark, even the brightest ideas fade. But with discipline, your action becomes habit, and your habit becomes legacy. That's the lot leads you. That's the trap so many people fall into. They wait to feel like it. They wait for motivation to strike, for the mood to be just right, for the stars to align. But let me tell you, if you only act when you feel like it, you won't accomplish much. Success isn't built on feelings. It's built on decisions that leads you. And discipline means you decide to move forward even when your emotions are pulling you in the other direction. There are days when you'll wake up tired, discouraged, maybe even defeated. But those are the days that count the most. Anyone can take action when they're excited. That's easy. But champions, winners, they act even when they're uninspired. That's what separates the average from the extraordinary. You don't need to feel like it. You need to decide to do it. That's maturity. That's strength. Discipline trains you to rise above your moods. Your feelings are temporary, but your decisions echo. Leads you when you make a choice to follow through. Regardless of how you feel, you start becoming the kind of person who can be trusted with success. And success doesn't show up for the emotional. It shows up for the consistent. Think of it this way: feelings are passengers, but discipline is the driver. If you let your emotions take the wheel, you'll swerve off course every time. But if discipline is leading, leads you. You stay focused, steady, and on track, regardless of the weather. That's how you get results. That's how you build character. That's how you build a life. So don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel strong. Just decide. Make the commitment. Stick to it. And one day, those feelings you were waiting for, they'll catch up with you because you kept moving forward without them. People often ask, Hats, what's the secret to success? And I smile because they're hoping I'll say something magical, like a lucky break or being in the right place at the right time. But here's the truth: success isn't magical. It doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's intentional. It's something you build with deliberate, focused effort, and the primary tool for building it, that's discipline, not talent, not connections. Discipline. See, success is like a house. Your vision is the blueprint, your goals are the materials. But discipline is the hammer. Without it, you're just staring at a pile of bricks. You don't wish the house into existence. You pick up the tools, you show up every day, and you get to work. That's what intentional living is all about. Choosing your actions on purpose, not by accident. And let me tell you, discipline isn't glamorous. It won't impress people on the outside. It's often quiet. It's skipping the party, turning off the TV, showing up early, staying a little later. It's writing more page, making one more call, saving when you want to spend. These little choices may seem insignificant today, but they're stacking up. Quietly, invisibly, they're forming the foundation of your success. The great myth is that successful people are just lucky, but no one sees the early mornings, the late nights, the endless repetition. What looks like magic is often just well-practiced discipline. The people who seem to have it all are often the ones who simply refuse to quit. They stayed intentional, they stayed consistent, and the results began to show. So don't wait for magic. Create momentum through intention. Use discipline like a sculptor uses a chisel, because with enough time, enough focus, and enough consistency, you won't just achieve success. You'll earn it. And that's a kind of success no one can take away from you. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're not just checking off a task. You're casting a vote for the person you want to become. One small decision repeated with consistency can shape your entire future. You may not see the result today or tomorrow, but each disciplined act is like laying a brick. And brick by brick, you're building a life that reflects your values, your goals, your true potential. You see, most people underestimate the power of small decisions. They think progress only happens in big, dramatic leaps. But real change comes from steady, purposeful movement. When you choose to read instead of scrolling, save instead of spending, show up instead of making excuses, that's progress. Every act of discipline, no matter how minor it may seem, is a step in the direction of your dreams. And here's the beauty of it: discipline compounds. It grows stronger with use. The more you follow through, the easier it becomes to follow through again. It's like training a muscle. At first, it's painful. You don't see much difference. But stick with it, and suddenly, you're not just doing disciplined things, you're becoming a disciplined person. And that's the real transformation. Every step you take in Incline closes the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It creates momentum, and momentum creates belief. You start proving to yourself that you can follow through, that you are capable, that you're not at the mercy of circumstances. You're in charge of your direction. So the next time you think your effort doesn't matter, remind yourself every act of discipline is a brick in the bridge to your goals. Miss one, and the bridge is fine. Miss many, and the gap widens. But stay consistent, and one day you'll look back, not at a dream, but at a life you built one disciplined step at a time. Discipline isn't always easy. In fact, sometimes it's downright uncomfortable. Waking up early when you'd rather sleep in, saying no when everyone else says Yes, staying focused when distractions are begging for your attention. None of it feels good in the moment. But here's the truth that discomfort, it's light, it passes. It's the pain of discipline, and it weighs only ounces. Now compare that to the pain of regret. That's a heavier burden. It comes later when the opportunity is gone. When you look back and say, I should have, I could have, that pain doesn't pass so easily. It lingers. It gnaws at you. And the sad part is, it's completely avoidable. Regret is you get when you trade long-term fulfillment for short-term comfort. Discipline asks for a little now, so you can gain a lot later. It's like paying a small price up front to avoid a massive debt down the road. You skip the dessert today so you feel healthy tomorrow. You invest the time to learn a skill now, so you're not stuck in frustration years later. Ounces now or tons later, that's the choice. The most successful people aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who were willing to carry the small weights of daily discipline. They chose the gym when the couch was calling. They read the book instead of watching the show. They made the tough call, had the hard conversation, put in the extra effort, not because it was easy, but because they understood the cost of not doing it. So ask yourself, are you carrying the light weight of discipline today, or are you setting yourself up to carry the heavy weight of regret tomorrow? Because in life, you will carry one or the other, and I'd rather carry a little now than be crushed by what could have been later. Discipline does more than help you achieve goals. It shapes who you are. Every time you choose discipline, you're not just completing a task, you're sharpening your character. You're proving to yourself that you can say no to the easy route and yes to the one that builds strength. That strength isn't just physical or mental, it's moral. It's the kind of strength that shows up in how you treat people, how you handle failure, and how you respond when things get tough. You see, character isn't formed in comfort. It's built in resistance. And discipline is resistance in action. When you say, I will do it anyway, even when it's hard, you're putting another layer on your character. You become more dependable, more focused, more grounded. People can trust you because you can trust you. That's the kind of person who earns respect, not just from others, but from themselves. And the beautiful thing is, discipline doesn't just test your will. It strengthens it. It's like a muscle. Every time you follow through, your willpower grows. The first time you choose discipline, it might feel like climbing a mountain. But the next time, it's a hill. And soon, it's just the path you walk, because it's who you've become. What once felt impossible becomes automatic. That kind of strength, the quiet, inner kind, is what carries you through life's storms. When things fall apart, when plans don't work, when nothing goes your way, your character will hold you up. And that character was built day by doing the hard thing when it would have been easier not to. So remember this, every disciplined decision is a tool in the hands of the craftsman, you. You're not just building results, you're building you. And when your will is strong and your character is sharp, there's not much in this world that can shake you. Discipline truly is the silent partner in every extraordinary achievement. It doesn't make noise. It doesn't ask for attention. But it's always there, behind the scenes, doing the heavy lifting. When you see someone succeed, when you witness greatness, what you're really seeing is the quiet power of discipline at work. It's not always visible, but it's always present. Like the roots of a tree, discipline supports everything above the surface. You see, the world often celebrates the result, not the routine. People cheer the trophy, not the early mornings. They admire the finished product, not the hours spent refining it in silence. But no one rises to greatness without paying the price of discipline. That's the truth. Extraordinary outcomes are built on ordinary decisions, repeated consistently. The applause comes later. The discipline comes first. It doesn't care about recognition. Discipline doesn't need a spotlight. It just asks for your commitment. Day after day, it shows up like a loyal friend. It reminds you of your goals when you've forgotten. It keeps you moving when your motivation runs dry. It whispers, keep going, when everything in you wants to stop. And because it never quits, it helps you become someone who doesn't quit either. Think of any extraordinary achievement, a book, a business, a transformation. It wasn't one big leap that made it happen. It was thousands of quiet steps. Discipline walked beside the achiever every single one of those steps. Not loud, not flashy, just consistent, steady, reliable. And when the world finally noticed the result, discipline was already at work on the next one. So don't underestimate the quiet. Don't overlook the routine, because while others are chasing excitement, the disciplined are building empires. And when you finally reach your goal, you'll realize discipline didn't just help you get there. It made you into the kind of person who belongs there.